Welcome. Today we're diving into a really powerful piece about history, memory, and how some places, well, they never really let go of the past.
Right from the start, we get this haunting idea. It sets the stage for a journey to a place where the past isn't just history, it's a feeling, a presence that time, unbelievably, hasn't been able to wash away.
So our journey starts in a very specific location, one that the narrator says has this almost unbearable spiritual weight to it. This first part is all about how a physical place can hold on to its history so tightly that the past feels terrifyingly, and I mean terrifyingly, present.
And we're hit with the reality of it right away. The location was a slave breeding farm. There's just no way to soften those words. This was a place of unimaginable, calculated human suffering. You know, the true horror of this place really comes into focus in the last spot you'd ever expect. Not out in a field, not in some dungeon, but inside this tiny, confining chapel. A space that's supposed to be for worship, but was used for something so dark. And then you see this number, 200. 200 years. The narrator is standing there almost 2 whole centuries after the fact. And yet the feeling, that dark power of the place, it's so strong, it's as if no time has passed at all.
And all of this leads to this gut punch of a conclusion. The contrast is just so jarring. In a building that's supposed to be a house of God, they felt like they were standing at the gates of hell. It's a total inversion of everything sacred.
Okay, so the feeling of this place is just, it's all-consuming. But now the story pivots. It shifts from that general, heavy atmosphere to a single, physical object that connects the past and present in this incredibly personal way.
So we step out of that cramped, suffocating chapel, and suddenly we're outside, on a cliff, looking out over the sea. You think it would be a relief, but that feeling of confinement, it doesn't really go away. It just changes shape.
And this is the moment where history stops being some abstract idea. It becomes real, horrifyingly real. It's the skull of Joanna, a 3-year-old girl. Holding this tiny piece of a life completely transforms the experience. It's no longer about observing history. It's about connecting with a person, a victim. And holding this physical link to Joanna's short, tragic life, it just flips a switch. It unlocks something deep inside the narrator, a recurring dream that's been with them since they were a kid. The horror on the outside connects to a horror on the inside.
And that brings us to the real heart of this whole experience, this recurring dream. And as you're about to see, this is not just some random nightmare. It's the mind grappling with a historical truth it always kind of sensed. It's an internal world reflecting a very real external horror.
The dream always plays out the same way. First, there's this feeling of being out in a huge, open ocean, totally overwhelming. Then, swimming, always swimming towards some point you can't quite make out. Then, on the horizon, a massive wave starts to build. And right before it hits, right before impact, they wake up. Every time. It's this endless cycle of getting closer but never reaching it, of dread without any kind of resolution. So, what's the connection here? How do you tie the place, the skull, and this dream all together? Well, this is where it all clicks into place. History isn't just a collection of stories here. It's a force of nature. It's a tidal wave. You can really see the two sides of the same coin here. On one hand, you have the historical site, that chapel, that place they called hell. That's the fixed, physical trauma of the past. On the other hand, you have the wave in the dream. That's its psychological echo, a moving, unstoppable, unavoidable force. One is the past that's set in stone, the other is the coming confrontation with it.
And that's the big insight, right? The dream was never a way to get away from this history. It was the mind's way of processing it, of trying to face it. That massive wave on the horizon, that is the history of the chapel. It is the story of Joanna. And the ocean, that's the sheer vastness of all that suffering.
And so we're left with this really heavy, unanswered question. After all of this, after standing in that place, after holding the proof of that past in your own hand, what does it actually mean to keep swimming toward that giant, inevitable confrontation with history, knowing you might not survive it? It's a question about courage, about reckoning, and maybe about the unending struggle to just face the past.